Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason. I hope it finds you well out there. We may have JR with us. You know what? I forgot I invited him. And then I forgot that I did it. So we may have JR with us as well. Be good to get the financial guys' side of things as well. I don't know what's going to happen. We've got one more day, Friday, right, to the end of the week. Saturday, I guess, is they're saying the official, okay, 5 days are up, so we'll see what happens. But right now, everybody is waiting to see Donald Trump now saying that the oil and stock market reaction to the Iran conflict, not as severe as he expected. Huh. Okay. Kind of, think about what Jason's been saying. Hey, kind of odd, right, that oil isn't higher. Maybe, odd that the stock market isn't worse. I think all will depend on, what happens next, right? That's the big thing. As of this morning, and again, Donald Trump's in a cabinet meeting, so if we get things come out, I will let you know. Diplomacy has not stopped, but according to Iran, this is a one-sided affair, that the United States is being deceptive, they can't be trusted, and unless something changes, they continue to reject the proposals. This morning, the president warned Iran to get serious soon before it's too late. Otherwise, we'll deliver the final blow. So that's what we have. We did have, Jason's kind of laughing on that, but, these are the headlines, right? He did take another shot at NATO. Very unhappy. I don't know if this is going to be, there's going to be a punishment of some sort when this is over for NATO, I believe anyway. Now, whether that's more tariffs, right, for NATO members or something else, I don't know. But NATO nations have done absolutely nothing to help. Well, then again, Iran they didn't really attack a NATO member. Right? They've thrown a few missiles, I guess, at Turkey, but, because the United States was using a Turkish base to do stuff. But has geopolitics ever felt more like high school than it does today? This is a great wrestling promo, right? I mean, right?
What I'm hearing you say right now is you got the stoner kid in the back that smokes, Iran.
Is that NATO?
That's Iran. Iran is the stoner kid. He's the one that needs to be
Iran's
taken.
the stoner.
And then you got the jock in the front, America. He's like, we need to get rid of this kid. I'm so tired of this guy. And then he's nudging the nerd kids like, come on, man. You need to get involved.
The geeks, the nerds.
You need to help me with it. Help me with this stoner back here causing all the trouble. Because the jocks
I keep beating the crap out of the stoner kid in the bathroom.
Because there's always that stoner kid that comes from the bad family where the dad beats the kid up, so he's really battle hardened, and the jock doesn't really want to fight that kid. That's Iran. That's him in the back. The jock can usually bully the other nerds and other kids around, but he doesn't really have the courage to really try to take out that tough stoner kid back there. So he's like, come on, NATO nerds, come on, help me out here.
They have not helped with this lunatic nation, a.k.a. stoner, now military decimated. The U.S. needs nothing from NATO, but never forget, this is a very important time. So, that's kind of the headline of the day. We have some other things. We did get jobless claims today, the same as it's been like every week for the last. I feels like for like the last 3 years, the number's been the exact same.
Yep.
210,000, 210,000. Yep. Every once in a while it's 200. Sometimes it's 220.
It's been going on for a few years, that level.
Yeah,
it's such a comfortable level that it's a comfortable number.
It is 210. Nobody really questions it. I don't know. We don't hire. We don't fire. One more reason for you to not want to use the post office. Apparently, the United States Post Office says that the cost of gasoline and diesel having jumped over 30%, they are now going to be adding an 8% fee on top of their regular transportation charge, but they've got to get it approved. This is this so hard, right? I'm sure all the other, Amazon and UPS, FedEx, right? Even DoorDash, right? They've already done all this stuff. But, yes, they want to add the extra 8% till January 7th. They got a very specific date. So they want to start this because, see, they need to get permission on April 26th, which kind of says, well, the war's not going to be over by April 26th. And they want to do it through January 17th, 2027. So there you go. That's according to the post office, the war is costing them 8%. Pay up. We'll be back after the break. Patriot Radio News Hour, 800-951-0592 for all your gold and silver needs really quickly. So let's just kind of see where the markets are at today. The Dow is down, but not bad. 75 points. The S&P's down 43. The Nasdaq's down 228. So maybe there's somebody in the Nasdaq's doing something good today, because normally you'd expect it to be down like 300 based on those numbers. The 10-year note. Here we go again. Right? 438. I keep worrying about 440. Anything above 440. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but something. And then crude oil. So NYMEX crude's up almost $4 at $94. Brent crude up $5.50 at almost $108. Unleaded gas up 9 cents. Gold had a good day yesterday. So did silver today. Kind of in between. Right now, down 48. So gold's kind of like, I don't know what to do, right? Well, do you guys need more liquidity? Do you not need more liquidity? Let's see here, 44.60. Silver's down a couple bucks. What is it? Right around $69 on silver right now. Couple of things, because a lot of people, me included, kind of like, oh, gosh, this doesn't quite make sense, Who's selling their gold with this war going on, right? And, of course, the answer is nobody. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, right? In January, Russia had to sell some gold. They don't have to sell anymore now because the oil price fixed that for them. They're making all kinds of money. And obviously people are thinking, well, will like Poland or some of these other places, will they need to sell some gold to buy some weapons, right? Nobody said that yet. But here's really, I think, what makes this really, really impressive for gold, and why every one of you, listen, I'll say this. I don't know that you can wait for Monday. We'll see. Once we get clarity, Monday I think we'll have clarity, right? Because if we're not bombing them by Monday, I don't know. Then again, who knows, right? I'm going to say that. I want clarity. We may not get it, right? You never know. Right?
There's no truth in this action. I see.
Yeah,
this.
so But here is the one thing: liquidity. People, and when we talk about people, we're not talking about you and I. You and I, right? If you need liquidity, you're going to come in and sell some silver, sell some gold, right? Because, well, God, this broke, or I'm out of money, right? I've run out of tricks, and bills are due, and the checking account is empty. But when you're looking at Wall Street, one of the big new things, and remember, the Bank of International Settlements said, hey, guess what, guys? Gold's now a tier 1 asset. And the biggest thing about a tier 1 asset is liquidity. In other words, you can hold a lot of this, whether you're a financial institution, right, a hedge fund, a sovereign wealth fund, you name it, right? Because you can liquidate it quickly, because you can liquidate it easily. And gold has done its job here. This is, and you got to remember, this is the first, I guess, real crisis that we've had since gold. They made the announcement, hey, it's going to be a tier 1 asset. It actually didn't, officially become a tier 1 asset till, I think like 2 years ago. I think it was 2024, maybe it was 2025 when they officially became a tier 1 asset. And it has been as advertised. And I think this is why a lot of financial institutions, matter of fact, all of them are kind of like, yeah, as soon as there's clarity here, we're going to go right back to gold. And the reason is it really did perform. If you look at treasuries right now, you're right, that's a tier 1 asset. Can they sell them? Yes. Here's the problem. The treasury, the yields keep rising. Right, so when you look at, what's been better for the people that have needed money? Now, if they bought gold at $5,000, if they bought gold at the top, okay, then it's probably only been as good as treasuries, because they're selling treasuries right now. The yields keep rising. They're losing money, right? That's how treasuries work. But they can get liquidity, right? They can get the liquidity. But if they bought gold at $3,000, $3,500, $4,000, heck, $4,500. They're like, man, that was great. I needed millions of dollars, maybe $1 billion in liquidity, and I was able to sell it and make money. Right? I was able to sell it and maybe, not lose nearly as much as if I had to sell my treasuries, or, gosh, could you imagine if they had to sell private credit right now? Right, they'd lose 80% of their money. So, Jason, I understand, right? We know, hey, gold's a safe haven, and you would think people would flock to it, but when you have a shock like this, I mean, oil went from 50 to 120 in like a matter of days. The one thing I think gold has proven is, hey, guess what? Not only was it a long time coming, we deserved that tier 1 moniker, and we have shown the world how well it's worked.
Yeah. No, it's really been showing, as I say, a leading indicator of inflation, man. That's the one thing. Later this year, war or no war, or whatever the situation is, the spending is already been passed. It's already bleeding into the economy right as we speak. And anything financially that goes poorly, they've got lots of fingers they can point at, right, Joe? And they got this midterm coming up. We got that coming up, and finger pointing, and I mean, what those. Joe, you know me. I'm more conspiratorial. I'm convinced we'll have a Democrat Congress and House. That was just say the majority will not be there for the Republicans, and what I have a feeling that maybe more than the war, which it seems like people don't. Yeah, I was watching some of that clip you sent. People don't really understand the war, or even care, or even know anything about geopolitics anymore. So the one thing everyone understands, though, is when you have to go buy something and it costs a whole lot more. And I thought the inflation would come end of the year next year. Joe's been saying more to the middle of this year. If Joe is right, the inflation starts hitting really hot during the summer and early fall. When those midterms hit, the voters are going to run the other direction. They're going to blame the Republicans, which you can't blame either side of the aisle. They work together. And that inflation, Joe, right? That inflation is going to be something that nobody can ignore. No, you can be an ignorant person, but paying twice as much for a loaf of bread is paying twice as much for a loaf of bread, Joe.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, great comment. How about wisdom tree today? Okay, so I like to give you different groups, right? We know all the banks have come out and said, no, nothing. As soon as this is over, gold's going to 6,000. I like what Wisdom Tree did today. They're like, man, if you are not buying gold into this correction, maybe you never will. And they're laying out this case of why you're an, I'm going to say idiot, right? You must hate money if you don't buy gold. I think most of what we lost since January highs is just some froth coming off the price, and that no factor, and this is kind of the big thing that they said, there is no macroeconomic fundamental or a combination of saying, shifting of positions, forced liquidity, right? All this stuff. There's no logical reason for it. Of course, I think there was. And I just laid it out for you. I think people needed money, and gold's a tier 1 asset, and they had profit. Why sell bonds and lose money? I could sell gold and at least not lose any money and give myself some time. But they went on to explain it. He said that there is pretty much nothing. We've lost $1,000 from the peak, which cannot be explained by fundamentals. Broader market stress has been the key driver. Investors selling gold to raise liquidity. So essentially what I just told you. This pattern is not unusual. Gold often experiences an initial decline during major geopolitical events before resuming its upward trend. Every big geopolitical risk we've seen in the past, we've seen a bit of gold price downside before it goes up. And I will remind people that the financial crisis is a great example. So financial crisis, gold's not a tier 1 asset. Banks are having problems. Wall Street's not going to open. Gold, before the crisis broke, was $1,000. Matter of fact, it peaked at $1,054. How do I know? Because I was here doing shows. Do you know it went to $700? It did. Do you know where it finished the financial crisis? Just under $1,900. So almost a tripling from the bottom, a doubling from the top. So if you think about here, what does that put us? Well, about 5,500. Let's call it 10 grand. 10 grand, right? Say the bottom is 4,000, right? That makes sense, right? Tripling it would have been 12, right? You go back to the financial crisis, 700. Tripling it would have been 2,100. That sounds about right to me. Gold is at bargain prices. At these levels, Wisdom Tree says it represents a rare buying opportunity. People have asked me for years, I like gold, but I'm looking for an entry point. So all of you listening that have listened for years, you haven't bought, this is for you guys. Maybe for some of you haven't bought in a long time. Maybe you stop buying at $2,000 gold, $2,500 gold. Or you're like, okay, $3,000, that's it. You may want to consider buying today. This is what you've been waiting for. If you're not going to buy at this time, you're never going to buy in your life. Right? This is Wisdom Tree saying, this setup here, this is it. This is your chance to buy the dip. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. And again, as we're just watching rhetoric, not a ton of economic data out. But yesterday we had $20 gold at that tremendous price of $46.50. Today, $10 gold, $23.25. So that's also $46.50 if you bought two of them at 800-951-0592. We're going through this article from Wisdom Tree saying, man, this is it, guys. And he said it's so well. This is your opportunity. This is the pattern. We've seen it pretty much every political event. By the way, this was not a fundamental. No, this sell-off was about liquidity. And this is the best entry point into the gold markets, right? Since it went nuts, right? I mean, it went from 2,000 to 5,000. I mean, it just did. Yeah. And
topped up at 50. Topped at 5,500.
Yeah, right. Topped up at 55. Who does this sound like? We are highly skeptical that central banks will hike interest rates in this environment. Who's been telling you that? These guys, they don't care. Listen, inflation, it's 5, 6, 7. They don't care. Didn't they prove that the last time with Biden? They didn't care. They didn't care. They don't care. Ready for this? Geopolitical risks aren't going away, and investors are going to soon realize this, and gold is going to take off. You know what is low? Let me give you his low forecast for the year. 5,020. Right? So buy today, essentially at $46.50 an ounce. Right? Hey, you're going to have a nice little, almost a 10% return, right? Based on Wisdom Tree at the low end. But guess what? He's like everybody else. Yeah, but 6,000? Yeah, don't rule that out. So that's what, almost a $1,400 move from where it is today. So is $10 gold pieces at $23.50 is an absolute steal here is what we're saying. This is the entry point. I keep trying to tell you guys, don't wait for the clarity. I know we want to. Well, gosh, Joe, I just want to say, are we really going to bomb them? What if we bomb them and gold goes to 4,000? So what? So what? Bombing them gives us clarity. And gold will go. Not bombing them gives us clarity, and gold will go. I think gold goes even higher if we bomb them. And why do I say that? Because inflation will be even worse. That's why.
It just might take a few extra months or weeks to get there.
That's right. It just adds, to Jay's point, it adds time. But that, think of that rubber band stretching. right? If they stop now, boom, okay, we're going to have a nice move. They bomb, they're really going to stretch that rubber band, and it is going to be a moonshot. So that's my advice. I know Monday I said, well, wait till Monday. I don't know. Now I'm hedging my bets. It's good enough. Close enough to the bottom. You're over $1,000 below the top. Jump in here, 800-951-0592. And you know what's interesting is Jason and I, both of us have been like, it's awfully odd about this oil price. Remember, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? Right, oil's 120, and I'm laughing. And so let me give you this scenario, because someone actually laid it out. It was March 19th, okay? So what is today? March 26th? Right? So that's what, 7 days ago?
Yep.
Right? 7 days ago. I'm going to give you the markets. Ready? Brent crude, 113. NYMEX crude, right? That's New York, 97. Oman oil, that's, quote, Asian oil, 167. And I remember I was telling you out there, oh, my God, in Asia, they're paying $170 for a barrel of oil. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes out and this and that, and oil prices, right, go down. Well, apparently, Bloomberg saying they found out who did it. They're blaming Total. And saying that it was their fault. So Total, big oil company. They embarked on the biggest ever buying spree of Middle Eastern oil in March after the war started. They purchased 69 cargoes of crude that set the Middle East Dubai benchmark well above what the quote-unquote paper markets were showing. Jason, why do I get a feeling that these oil companies got phone calls from the Trump administration saying, you guys stop buying this oil right now or there's going to be big trouble?
So it sounds like, right? It is. Part of a market is that these things are actually a part of a market. It's just that it's a lot more contrived, it's a lot more controlled, and fake compared to the way markets have run in the past. But Joe, I mean, that is part of a market. I mean, buying and selling is an art form in some respect as to how to call a price, how know when to buy, when to sell, and. Those prices you read, I mean, they're not a whole lot higher than they are today. I mean,
right. The paper market, look at it, right? Let's go again right now. New York, NYMEX, 94.14.
Right.
That's only $3 difference between Brent, 108. So what's that, like $5?
Yep.
So, yeah, fairly close paper-wise, but everybody knew those prices were BS. Today, they're a little more realistic because they basically told the oil companies, you stop getting ready for the worst scenario. Well, there's going to be big trouble. Maybe big trouble anyway.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see what happens. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. $10 gold pieces today on sale, $23.50. U.S. Silver Eagles, if you're interested in those, $1,575 at 800-951-0592. Okay. Do have a quick update here. Hesketh has come out. The Department of War, remember, it's the Department of War now. The Pentagon will keep negotiations with bombs. So I'm assuming that means we're going to bomb Iran. I don't know. But the president's still saying, don't worry, the conflict with Iran will end soon. It won't be long. Had to take a little detour.
Another comment right out of high school. We're going to negotiate with my left fist. you stoner. We just don't know how many cigarettes you have left in that pack. Isn't that the whole thing? How many missiles does Iran still have? It seems to be like the whole part of this war thing. How many cigarettes does the stoner still have to smoke, right?
It's just a little detour, guys. Don't worry. Everything's going to be all right. I hope so.
We're going to negotiate with bombing you. We elect these guys.
Well, no, Hesketh doesn't get elected. He got to put it in.
We elected the guy that put him in there. They're all elected. That's the whole thing. You vote for someone, and then by the end of the term when they really suck, you don't want to say anything because you elected them. Because they put all this nonsense there, so they got you. And if you didn't vote for him and you're angry that he's doing all the stuff, you feel so justified, and then you get your clown elected, and then you have to do the walk of shame at the end of that guy's term. Because we didn't elect Hegseth, but I mean we elected a guy that we trusted to put guys like that in place. And
Dow's now down 200 points, but still, I'm watching oil. My guess is this probably came out 5 minutes ago by the time I've read it, so the markets are reacting. Oil prices have gone a little bit higher on those comments. But, yeah, so there you go. It's just I hope it's a little detour. $10 gold, $23.50, 800 951-0592, and keep adding here. Listen, this is a pattern. We've seen it play out numerous times, and I think the moment of clarity is just around the corner. So get in before the clarity, because it will move. It probably will move very, very quickly when it does. But in any event, Department of War Secretary Hesketh says they're going to negotiate with bombs. The president saying the conflict will still end soon. It won't be long. Had to take a detour.
A detour?
Yeah, it's a detour with a bomb, apparently.
A detour. I wish we'd know about these detours before we bomb somebody.
Well, people are saying that some people do know about these detours and front run the market and make a bunch of money on them, but,
I don't know.
Okay, one last thing. This is for you people that still want to live in California. I don't understand. I do, actually. California is beautiful. It really is. I mean, it's like 70 degrees, 70, 80 degrees every day of the year. Seriously. It's nuts. A lot of the homes in California, kind of funny, the older ones never even had air conditioning because they didn't need them, right? Because it never got that hot. The Pacific Ocean, cold. Atlantic, not cold, by the way. I learned that. Oil giant Chevron says, California, you've done it now. Right, so all these places have shut their refineries. California came up with all these dumb rules, and they said, don't worry, we're going to import the oil. Chevron is saying the fuel shortages in California are far worse than anywhere else. We have refiners in Asia having to cut crude, so they have to make less products. What if San Francisco doesn't get the jet fuel it needs? Or how about Los Angeles? Or maybe there just won't be any gasoline. By the way, diesel fuel in California is now over $7 a gallon. They already have the highest gas prices, close to $6 a gallon. And Chevron is saying that where California's been importing all of these products, so they got to import the gas, they got to import the jet fuel, the diesel fuel. They've been importing it from Asia, Jason, and so Chevron's like, nice job, dummies. They'll be the first. California, let's just say this, bombs start dropping this weekend. I think California will have $10 diesel probably before the end of next week. That would be crazy.
I think a lot of their shipments to their Walmarts and such are going to be a little delayed.
Yeah,
I think things are going to slow down. I think getting stuff in California is going to get a little harder. That's what's going to happen. If gas prices ever got really super severe, like $10, $12, $15, you'd have to have shipping companies consider not delivering there anymore. In fact, they probably would make some of the retailers come and pick it up in Arizona and Nevada, right?
Right. Hey, if you want it delivered,
come pick it up.
I don't know. Gotta love California. Patriot Radio News Hour. I just got an update from JR. He'll be on Tuesday. I'll tell you why when we get back. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. The Dow's down 200. Crude oil is up $4.5 to $6 now, depending on where you're looking. Unleaded gas up 13 cents. Gold's down 40. Silver's down 2.5. Well, I guess less than 2.5. $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces, $23.50. This is your moment at 800-951-0592. Wisdom Tree laying it out. Hey, guys, Trump says Iran let 10 oil ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Right? They trying to talk, and they have. They've let some Chinese oil through, some Indian oil through. I think they even let Japan have a tanker of oil. Guys, got to remember, 200 ships a day were passing through there. So 10 over the last 2 weeks, not a great number, but, it's a good headline. I don't think anyone's going to put a lot of stock into it. But maybe that's a reason not to bomb them. I don't know.
It's kind of like the story of the troll under the bridge, right? Making everyone pay a toll. Yes. I think is that what's happening when Japan gets their tanker? Do they pay the troll the toll and so they can get their oil?
Well, that's the thing too. Now that wasn't said in there. Did they pay the $2 million? Why do I think they did? Yeah. Right? Why do I think they paid the $2 million? But in any event, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does that mean something? Maybe. Right? Maybe that's Trump going to say, well, we're not going to bomb them because, they're letting some oil through. And I know Iran has said, if you're not an enemy of ours and you pay us $2 million, we'll let your boat go through. I mean, that's kind of what the deal has been so far. But, JR, I apologize. See, the clocks change, but Arizona, we don't. And the show here in Arizona, it's not on for another 5 minutes.
Right.
It's tape delayed.
Yep.
So JR doesn't, right? He was like, no, I'm on at 9, right? Because he's been coming on at 9. So I said, well, let's wait. Let's reschedule it. And so he'll be on Tuesday because he and I, of course, I didn't remember to tell him, right? Because we don't change the clocks. So, boy, well, he's like, I always come on at 9, which he has, but now the clocks have changed. So 800.
He's still coming on at 9. It's just 9 Colorado time.
That's right. 0592, and we'll see. Not a lot of reaction from the president headline there about the 10 ships. So I don't know. I guess if they're going to do it, I know this, they won't bomb them until the markets are closed. So the earliest they can bomb them will be Friday night. We'll see. All right? Monday could be a very interesting day. They're all been interesting, though.
Maybe we'll find out if it gets worse, if that Japanese ship takes off its flag and it's got an American flag, and then the Iranians watch it go to an American city. And it's like, okay, that's it.
Oh, man.
That's it. Yeah, we gave you a chance to just come through and pay a toll.
Now you've done it.
Now you're really going to pay a toll.
It's going to San Francisco so the planes can take off. Now you've done it.